comic books, movies, TV, and more. Nerds are everywhere. It's time to assemble! It's Nerds United.
Hello and welcome to a brand new Nerds United, a Jittery Monkey podcast and YouTube video. I'm your host, Greg Mahochko. This guy over here, you know him as the co-host of the year. He is the one and only and feeling festive, Mike Luther. Hello, Mike.
Yes, my one Christmas decoration is up, and I literally just put it up right before we started recording here. No, I'll probably go to my mom's and get a little bit more of my holiday cheer, but I don't have much. Is your Christmas tree up? Did you decorate yet?
The Christmas tree is not up.
Okay, that's fine.
That's probably going to be a next weekend project. Good. The reason being is you've been to my house enough times to know, we have toys everywhere.
True.
And some of these toys need to be picked up. And if you ask me, some of these toys need to be donated to people who could really play with them. But I'm always on the losing battle of that, even when it's 1-to-1 with me and the child. So I don't think we'll be donating any toys this year, which is a shame. But until the toys get picked up, we can't put the tree up. Now, that being said, I'm going to put Christmas lights up outside tomorrow.
Okay. But
I had an exterior company come out today and put Christmas lights up on the second floor gutters. Okay, nice. And nobody in my family noticed them. Now, they weren't on, so, it wasn't like an obvious thing,
Right.
But so it's my plan after I get them all done tomorrow and say, hey, like Clark Griswold, mm-hmm. Hey, everybody, come on out here and to surprise them. Oh, my goodness, I didn't hear the ladder. How did you not die? I said, because I paid somebody a lot of money to,
to
come do that, because I don't want it. And that's why I texted my buddy who works for this company. I said, look, I love hanging Christmas lights. I've always wanted to have them on the second floor, but I don't want to die. And he says, that's why people call us.
Yeah. By the way, you actually love hanging Christmas lights?
I do.
Okay. Well,
I listen to Christmas music. I put them up. And again, you've been to my house. It's pretty simple. Like, I hang some over the front door here, and I wrap the post. I mean, you've been here at Christmas time, so you've kind of seen, and I throw some of the, like the bush nets, I guess, or light nets over the bushes. And so, we've done inflatables in the past. I don't think we'll do those ever again, at least at this house. But yeah, no, I enjoy it,
Good.
It's cold and it sucks, but it's, you got to get in the mood somehow.
I agree. I've been watching some Christmas movies, getting in the mood there. But non Christmas related, I will say that my car finally has brakes.
Yes.
And it was a lot more than they thought.
No.
I won't, as far as like what was wrong with it and the price. The price surprised me, but didn't surprise me at the same time, because whenever I take my car to the shop, I always overestimate what it's going to be.
Okay.
So in my head, it's going to be like $1,200.
And in reality, it's $1,150.
Right. Exactly. I won't say on air how much it was, but I will say that it was more than what I pay in rent. Okay. And luckily, I have a credit card, and I also had some emergency cash funds.
Okay.
So, but it's working now, and like their brakes working really good. They were really sensitive. I pulled out there. I was like, oh, okay, hold on.
Wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
Well, the important thing is your vehicle is safe again, so that you can get look, even in a world where you could theoretically work from home all full time, you still have to go. You still go to the gym,
right,
4 or 5 days a week. So, I'm glad that that's taken care of. So.
Yeah, all good.
So excellent. We did try to, or not try. We have started getting into the Christmas spirit in our house. We went to the St. Louis Zoo tonight for their Wild Lights, I guess, event. I mean, it's going on now through Christmas, but we said, you know what? It when we left the house, it was in the 50s, but and which is fine because it's
Yeah.
December. So, it could be 20 degrees colder. And by the time even when we got back in the vehicle, it was still mid 40s. So I feel like we picked a good night to go. And, it wasn't overly crowded. Got to do a few things. The kids loved most of the things some of the kids loved everything we did. My little buddy, Matt, we did the 4D Polar Express show, which is like 6-minute long, chopped up version. 4D, they'll spray water on you and blow air, and it was winter, so it made it look like it's snowing with some of like the foamy stuff. He was not okay with the snow and the water spray. No, he was not feeling that, and I was like, buddy, you gotta be quiet. We're in an enclosed space. And then there's the conservation carousel. For those of you who don't know, if you've never been to St. Louis has a top 3 zoo in the United States. Arguably San Diego Zoo, the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha, but the St. Louis Zoo. And what's really unique about the St. Louis Zoo is it is free admission for regular zoo going. You pay $10 for parking or something like that, but you can go in, you see all the animals, everything like that for free. Now, special events like this, it costs us $15 a head. The twins are too old to get in for free, which is, I was like, damn. But they're very big, as most zoos are, very big on conservation. And this carousel that's probably close to a century old, they call it the conservation carousel. And, we were first in line for the next run, and, it's going around, and Garrett's saying like, oh, I want to be on that. And Rob, he's like, zebra. And Matt just couldn't quite make up his mind. And he's like, I don't want to go. I said, well, let's try it. Let's walk around. Let's find the animal that you want. And I said, what do you think about this one? No. I said, I started to put him on this. I'm like, buddy, they're going to start the ride. No. I said, okay, we're done. We're not going to do it. And so the young lady who's working and attending the carousel, she says, oh, come on, buddy. You say it's like a magic ride. She's getting him psyched up for it. It's a magic ride. You can pick any animal. You can name him. And he said, kind of gave in, as well as an almost 3-year-old can. He said, okay, this one. So of all the animals, he picked a warthog.
Okay. That's a good choice.
And like they even have, you can just sit, like they have some chairs you can sit. You want to sit? No. But he picked one that goes up and down, and he's holding on to me for dear life. Like he's like, I don't want to be here. And I tell him, I said, come up. I said, you got to hold on to me. I hold on to the pole,
Yeah.
He was just holding on to me. And about halfway through, I said, you liking it? Yeah. I was like, you're so brave, buddy. You're doing so good. Okay. He did not. When it was over, he's like,
oh.
But we saw penguins. We saw penguin poop on the rocks. That was fun for the kids.
Okay.
Not as much fun for me.
Yeah. Well, I know you said you went, but I wasn't sure because I had never been. I mean, I've been to the zoo, but not like for the lights and stuff like that. So I didn't know if it was like I guess it doesn't make sense to have it be a drive-through thing, but that's what I don't know why, but I was thinking it was just like a drive because
So Grant's Farm, if you're familiar with that,
yes.
That's a drive-through.
Okay.
Christmas light display, and like right around the corner from Grant's Farm is a Christmas display that has been on national television. It's something like the Christmas Bear House or something. It's ridiculous. It was on one of those like great Christmas light fights or something like that on ABC years back. So it's nuts. I mean, they have little box out there for donations or like help us keep the lights on because this is expensive. But Grant's Farm's a good time. We've done that in years past. We've done the botanical gardens in the past. And the one we do, which is because it's right down the road from us, is the Way of Lights at the Shrine there in Belleville. So
I've heard, I think I went to that one. I can't remember. I went to one. It's got to be 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I'm not sure. But it was in one car. It was me, and the nephews, because all the boys wanted to go with me, and the other car was the
Cool Uncle Mike.
Yeah. But it was cool. Like I know you had to tune into a certain station,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think there was certain parts you just stood at, or not stood, but you went in your car at, and then you drove to the next part and stuff. I can't remember, but I wouldn't mind going out and seeing some lights and stuff if everything goes right. So
there is in or around Louisville, Kentucky,
okay.
they have it's we've got some real good friends who live in that area, and I keep threatening to come down there like see them for the weekend, but they have what's called Lights Under Louisville, and it's a cavern that's all decorated for Christmas, but you're underground that you drive through. And for something like that, if you're in, I don't know, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee area, lightsunderlouisville.com if you want more information on that. So
nice.
But that, I do. I love Christmas time. I like everything about Christmas except cold weather, realistically.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable, yeah.
And, as I think it works with most adults or parents, especially, you get to the point where, like, I don't need anything. I'm pretty self-sufficient, but I love to give gifts, so love to see joy on faces, as they say.
I was talking to a friend who has 3 little kids, and she's like really big into Christmas and stuff. And like I was telling her, like, it's fine, I like it, I like the Christmas movie stuff. I like not as excited as I once was. We kind of figured out it's probably because I don't have a little kid. Like Nolan's 19, so like I honestly like if I hey, what do you want for Christmas? I don't know. I'll probably end up getting gift cards. Yeah.
Can I get a video game?
Yeah, not even that. He just he's literally like, I don't know. I end up getting him gift cards probably to like different restaurants he likes and stuff. But it's not the same as like when he was little, and like especially at the time where he was the only grandson, and obviously he's the only son I have. But there would be times, even if when I was really poor, I would still be able to get him like a lot of presents, and everybody else. And then over the years, when there's more kids to get presents for and stuff, nieces and nephews, and like even the nieces and nephews, I probably get them, most of them, money. I think. Actually, now that I know one of them, I'm not going to tell him what I'm going to get him. I have an idea.
Is that the one who's going to do a guest spot on the show here in a few weeks?
Possibly, but yeah. So it's I like when other people get excited. Like I told my friend, I said I really like when like your joy is like infectious, and I mean that in a good way. So, but like I said, going out and seeing lights, that might be something I do.
So last week we recorded, of course, Turkey Before Turkey. I survived.
Yep.
A round of applause, pat on my back. The next day was my wife's birthday, but it was also Thanksgiving. So we kind of celebrated on Saturday by dropping the kids off at my mom and dad's, and then going to basically like look, it's not blank check, but let's go to some of your favorite stores and buy whatever you need, whatever you want. So, I mean, we went to some of her favorite stores. We went on like the St. Louis side. So we got like slightly more selection at Joann's fabrics.
Okay.
Like but she obviously very responsible about it all. And then we went and had dinner early, early bird legit. We were there by 4:15 at Shogun's in Fairview Heights.
Oh, Shogun's. Okay. Is that the place where they like throw the meat at you and stuff?
That's the hibachi.
Is that what you do?
They did not throw any meat at me. Not this time. But the portions were massive. I have a theory because the hibachi grill, there's 8 chairs around it, but there are only 4 people sitting around. But I have a feeling that they prepare like the trays of the vegetables and rice and things like that for 8.
Yeah.
So we just got like double rice, double veggie portions. Like I'm a big guy. I'm kind of also a fat guy, and I can eat, but I could not finish all that food.
Really? Okay.
So I had leftovers for work on Monday, which was also good. So, but Mike, we're almost 15 minutes into this thing. We should probably mention something about comic books or movies or TV or all that other good stuff.
You're right. We should. Did you go to a comic book store or anything? Get any new comics?
I did not get anything new, but I finally got some reading done.
Okay. What'd you read?
What did I read? And I messaged you about this, and then I forgot to bring it to you, which is good for the benefit of the visual aids that I'll not present. I actually read DC's Dark Knights of Steel Volume 1. And I didn't really know upon first glance at this cover. Again, it's an Elseworlds kind of what if type of thing, but I didn't know much about the story. The story is, I apologize for the spoiler nature of it. Volume 2, I'm very excited about because it's going to arrive in the store in just a couple of weeks, like on December 12th or something like that. But Krypton is in its, exploding ruin, and Jor-El and Lara L are saying, "Oh my goodness, we have to save our son." So you see the rocket depart the exploding planet like you always do, and it lands in what we find out is a kind of medieval type of setting, and the ship opens, but it's not just Kal-El. It's Jor-El and Lara as well. And they quickly express their powers, I should say. But they do it in a, they're attacked. Obviously, somebody new, and they say, "Oh, we can't be hurt." And they may or may not lay waste to an entire army accidentally. But you have Kal-El growing up. You have Batman or Bruce. I mean, everybody. What I like about it, but also found kind of confusing and frustrating at times, is this is like a medieval type of story, but there's almost zero medieval language. Like,
okay.
No, where art thous or anything like that. And you have Bruce Wayne, you have Alfred, you have Harley Quinn, you have Kal-El, you have so many of just your regular DC characters, and I don't want to get into spoilers because you're going to have this in your hands, probably within a week. But it takes some really interesting. So this isn't a spoiler; it's just part of the story. But Batman is, I don't know if he's a prince, but he has a crew of Robins, and they all have the normal names: Dick Grayson, Jason Todd. They're all. Everything feels very familiar in this medieval world, but the story goes really well. It's very well paced. The art is really tremendous. So it's written by Tom Taylor with art by Yasmin. I'm probably going to mispronounce. I apologize. Putri.
Sure.
So just very excited for this. On the back cover, you have Kal-El and Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Who's kind of like the leader of the guard type, So tremendous story. I really enjoyed it. I did read The Immortal Thor #4, which I know I talked about acquiring. Good stuff in this one as well. I'm intrigued as to where this story goes. And, just I didn't read much, but I'm every trade paperback I read is a chunk off the stack.
That's true. You're fine. I didn't buy anything, and really, like, I finished the Joker book, the one by
Brian Azzarello.
Yeah, which was fine, which was good book. And then probably about an hour before we started, I was starting to reread Secret Invasion.
Okay.
I don't remember what happens in it, so it's good to reread it. And then whenever you come, you can. There's probably more books for you to take back with you.
I don't know where I'll put them.
Oh, you put them in like on a shelf or on a floor or on the fan. Just hang them up somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, all right. So, Secret Invasion. Again, I don't remember much about the story, but I probably remember more about the story than I do the TV show. So,
well, yes, yeah, and yeah, and I think Secret Invasion. I'm pretty sure you bought twice. I think, didn't you? Wasn't that one that you bought twice?
Anything's possible.
Yeah,
anything's possible. So, we're kicking the can down the road on our main topic, which is my fault because I just didn't have time to prepare everything properly. But next week, we're going to take a look at our top 5 non-MCU Marvel movie moments. There's a lot of alliteration there, folks. I apologize, but think of all the movies that exist outside of Iron Man through Marvels, I suppose. And I'm not going to say we had a disagreement. There's definitely no falling out. I had a misunderstanding or a bad memory. Both are possible because I thought we weren't using the Netflix Marvel shows, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, of course, the stellar show that was Iron Fist. But those might be integrated in there as well. I can't remember, but didn't have the time to get all that prepared. Next week we'll have that topic for you. So this week we have a few topics, and I don't know how much depth and detail we can go into. But Mike, let's just kind of jump into them, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So the first one, and I'm trying to keep my tabs to a minimum because we were having some Wi-Fi issues on my end earlier. But I do know that Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki are exploring the possibility of more supernatural.
Yes.
And my first and really only reaction to that is, why?
Right. I'm thinking the same thing. One, I was too late to the supernatural viewing. So by the time I had heard of it, I think they were on season 10, I want to say.
Right.
And at that time, I'm like, I'm not even going to start watching this. Like I've seen clips. I've seen more of interviews from Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles together, and they seem really funny, and they seem like they're having a lot of fun. I've seen more clips of like that than I have of the show. But like I said, that was season 10. They didn't end until season 15, I think, or 16. I forgot what it was.
I think it was 18.
18? Jeez.
I honestly got to think it was 18.
You might be right. Regardless, it was more than they needed.
Let's see. I'm trying to do a quick one here.
So I don't know if they're looking to do a continuation. They're doing spin-offs. I know, and I think it got canceled, maybe. But didn't they were going to do the Winchesters, which was the prequel.
15 year.
15. Okay.
15 year. And a side note on that, it holds the record as the longest running sci-fi / fantasy television series in the United States. Supernatural.
Yeah.
15 years. And here's the thing. I don't dislike Supernatural. I dislike like after season 6 or 7 of Supernatural. I enjoyed that Monster of the Week type of vibe that it had earlier. Every season has its bigger arc, kind of like Smallville at the time. I mean, which makes sense. They were contemporaries, except in I think Smallville had a 2 or 3 year jump, but you have that kind of Freak of the Week, Monster of the Week, but that season has an overall grander story to tell. And I enjoy when they started getting like into, not say angels, because I'll really upset a large portion of our listeners who they had the one angel. I can't think of it. Mission. Anyway, when they started getting into like Leviathans and the Devil on Earth things, I kind of disconnected myself.
I just think that really anything more than 5 seasons, I think is too much for a lot of shows.
Okay.
You know? Like Flash went 9 seasons, and I think that was 6 seasons too many. You know, again, I didn't watch. I think I maybe watched an episode or something of the Supernatural show. But yeah, man, they gotta just knowing that it's 15 seasons. They gotta be done.
Yeah. Did Arrow go 7?
8, 7 or 8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Flash. I think it went 8.
And you mentioned Winchesters, so they tried maybe a couple seasons, I think, of the prequel show. Yeah,
didn't it get canceled?
Or not picked up? I think it did. 22 to 23. I mean, realistically, it's maybe still out there.
No, well, I see something that says
it did get canceled.
The CW canceled Winchesters after 1 season on May 11th, 2023. And that's on
after Nexstar took over the CW network. There's a massive crackdown on scripted content, and the Winchesters was one of the casualties. So apparently, it had to do with ownership change on the network itself. So,
yep.
Well, that's unfortunate, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
So that's one news nugget.
Yeah.
Again, look, I feel like when you're Jensen Ackles, when you're Jared Padalecki, you spent 15 years in a role, and either you're typecast or from a certain standpoint, I have like they're trying to squeeze every drop of blood from that stone that they can, because there's a fan base, there's an established fan base. They've both gone on. Padalecki went on to do Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
Jensen Ackles has been Soldier Boy on The Boys and Gen V, among a few other things here and there. I just, Supernatural doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry to all you Supers fans, Winchester fans out there. I'm sorry.
But you know what? Look, even if nothing gets picked up, you still have 15 seasons to watch. So,
right,
that's great.
I mean, come on, you gotta enjoy what you have, appreciate what you've been given. Because think of the Firefly fans who have like 13 episodes, and maybe there's some crossover. Maybe I'm sure there's some Firefly fans who are Supernatural fans, etc., and vice versa. But I mean, you've had a pretty good Supernatural fans. Let's step to the side and let another fan base take over and I don't know, cause rage or whatever. So with that one, and then Screen Rant reported earlier in the week. Don't know exactly what day, but we'll say early in the week, depending on when somebody's listening to this. You never know. That Tom Holland opened up about where the studios are at with Spider-Man 4. Mike, can I read you the quote?
Sure.
Of course, Tom Holland has a history of jumping into spoilers and things like that, but Holland made it clear, while not offering an update on when the movie might release, Holland made it clear that he, Sony Pictures, and Marvel Studios are actively engaging in conversations about the next Spider-Man movie, and he says the following: "All I can say is that we've been actively engaging in conversations about what it could potentially look like for a fourth rendition of my character. Whether or not we can find a way to do justice to the character is another thing. I feel very protective over Spider-Man. I feel very, very lucky that we were able to work on a franchise that got better with each movie, that got more successful with each movie, which I think is really rare, and I want to protect his legacy. So I won't make another one for the sake of making another one. It'll have to be worth the while of the character." Now, you and tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I misinterpreted what you said, because you asked me if the studio cares about Tom Holland's input, and I said I think they do. I think they're all out to make the best Spider-Man movie possible, and you seem to think that if Tom Holland doesn't like the script, rather than reworking the script, they'd recast the character.
Well, I think a couple things. One, yes, I think the studio actually does. Of course, they want a really good Spider-Man movie that's going to make them money. I mean, money's the number one thing, right? What I think is, I think like they write a script and Tom Holland's looking at it and he doesn't like it. I think, it depends. If it's just a couple things to rewrite, okay, I think they'll rewrite the script a couple times, I would say. But I think it will get to a point where if the studio says, hey, this is the movie we want to make, Tom Holland says, no, I'm not going to make it. I think they're going to look around and go, we've recasted Spider-Man before and it's worked out for us.
Yeah.
And also we introduced two other Spider-Man that fans loved with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in No Way Home. And fans absolutely love them. Fans were talking about, hey, we got to make Amazing Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 4. I bet one of them would be willing to do it. Or if not, hey, let's recast. Like I think and that might be a little ways away. Like I don't know if it's going to be 4 rewrites or 5 rewrites. But eventually the studio is going to make a Spider-Man 4 with somebody.
I think that because look, with the Jonathan Majors thing, we don't know the story of what's going to happen with Kang the Conqueror, so I don't know how that affects the Avengers Age of Kang or Kang Empire or whatever it is King that they Dynasty. Have. Yeah, thank you. And then Secret Wars after that. Like Spider-Man in the comics plays a big part in Secret Wars. That I believe takes place just after he meets maybe he meets the symbiote in the Secret Wars.
Sounds right.
I can't remember it all. So like you got to have Spider-Man going forward. I think Spider-Man 4 has to. I'll say that one of the things with the kind of keeping Spider-Man isolated from the greater Marvel narrative, I suppose. I'd be really curious. I think if Kevin Feige has a direction for Spider-Man and the writers can get from point A to point B, Tom Holland might have to suck it up and do the job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess I think Tom Holland has enough say in whether or not he does it. I guess it really depends on contracts, but like I said, I hope that it's Tom Holland. I hope there's a Spider-Man 4, especially the way that No Way Home ended.
Right.
That of course, no spoiler. I guess nobody knows who Spider-Man is, and I guess they also don't remember Peter Parker at all. But I want to see how he. And here's the and actually, I'm literally just thinking about this. I would assume that he's still contracted, not necessarily for a Spider-Man 4, but I would assume he's still going to be in, like we talked about King Dynasty and whatever other Avengers things there are. Right. So maybe we'll still see him, but just not in a solo movie, I guess. I don't know.
And look, I think as long as Marvel has some say in the Spider-Man, I got to make sure that I differentiate between the Spider-Man franchise and the Spider extended thing. I trust where they're going with it. Because we've seen it could go in weird places.
I got an idea of what the studio can do. Okay, so they they're going to do 3 rewrites. All right, after the 3rd rewrite, they're like, okay, this is going to be the movie, and they say, okay, Tom Holland, you can either do this movie as is, or we are going to stick you in the Madam Web movie.
No, not worse. The Madam Web sequel.
The Madam Web sequel, yeah.
Oh, we're so sorry, Tom Holland. All right, so wait and see. We're kind of in a waiting period on Spider-Man 4. It'd be curious to know if Sony Pictures was exploring the idea of a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. Just be curious to see which one would populate first. But moving on to prequels instead of sequels, I was fortunate enough earlier today to share, and I knew that it was coming, but I didn't know it was so close to being done. But best friend of the show, Josh, shared. He said, "Did you see that Furiosa trailer?" I said, "I did not." So I pulled it up. I watched. I shared it. Where were you on Mad Max Fury Road?
I remember watching the trailer, and I've seen a lot of clips of it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually just rewatched Fury Road
Okay.
within the last couple of weeks, and I believe it is on.
I believe it's on Max, isn't it?
I think Max. I think so. And it's such a fun movie. First of all, when you realize that most of the effects are practical effects, like with real cars and real fire and things like that. It's definitely wild, definitely over the top. But I think that the story that they're trying to tell, why Furiosa is doing what she's doing, and the shortages, I guess inequity or inequality, whatever. There's the at its heart, the story is, I guess, I'm not trying to make this political, but it's about the 1%. I mean, there's a dictator who is controlling everything, the water, all that, and so they're trying to get away from that. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I do think you should check it out. Just there's a crusty old white guy trying to absorb as much power as he can. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, look, I have only heard good things about it. I don't know why I've never watched it. I really don't. Did you ever watch any of the Mad Maxes, like the Mel Gibson ones? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, again, bits and pieces here. Maybe Dad had it on, and I was passing through or playing with my own toys and not paying attention.
Yeah.
We, for whatever reason, we can't do that in my house. Like, I can't have something with, dare I say, questionable content on it with the kids around because, like, well, first of all, Rob is, potty mouthing at daycare.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then, if there is a crossword or something like that, Garrett say, bad word. I'm like, yeah, I don't need you to point it out. I just need you to not repeat it.
Right.
and he, I gotta tell you this, it was yesterday morning as he's getting ready for school, and he was, he was trying to time something, and he said, and so he was trying to say like 5 seconds, but he was trying to shorten it and abbreviate it, so he said 5 secs. I was like, you just have to say seconds on that one. So
yeah.
He's like, why is it bad? I'm like, it's not bad. It's just advanced for your age.
Yeah.
I was just trying to, let's kick that can down the road as long as we can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, but what'd you think about the Furiosa trailer?
I thought it looked amazing.
Mm-hmm. Same guy who did Fury Road, George Miller. And you got Nicholas Hoult, who I don't even know if we talked about, is going to be Lex Luthor in the Superman Legacy movie.
Is that confirmed yet?
I thought it was.
I thought it was rumored. It might be confirmed. I think the last confirmations was Jimmy Olsen was going to be played by somebody, I forget now, and then there was another.
Usually how it goes.
Yeah. But I don't think it's been confirmed yet.
I have one day ago that says Superman Legacy announces Nicholas Hoult as new Lex Luthor.
From who?
Here we go. Deadline.
Until James Gunn says it is not confirmed.
I mean, I say Entertainment Weekly. I see Deadline, both with that as a headline.
Don't get me wrong. I think he would make a great Lex Luthor. Not as good as Rosie, but good old Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh yeah, I thought you. What about that other feller?
Kevin Spacey?
No, that other feller.
Jim.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. I picture him in my head, and I can't think of the name.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, okay. That's not the one I was thinking of. Actually, I was thinking of the original Lex.
Oh, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. That's it.
So this is from Deadline. This is 10 days ago. Mm-hmm. James Gunn has found his Lex Luthor in British actor Nicholas Hoult, several sources tell us. Studio wanted to go through the Lex Luthor casting process after the SAG-AFTRA strike. Warner's already is in business with Hoult on Clint Eastwood's Juror No. 2. He's also starred in the 2015 blockbuster Mad Max, which made over $380 million at the global box office. I didn't know it won 6 Oscars. So it's not confirmed yet, but it's more than likely. If it's on Deadline and Entertainment Weekly, you got to give it a good. And anyway, Nicholas Hoult is in Fury Road. Mm-hmm. That I don't know what they call those those soldiers, those young men who spray silver paint or something in their face, and it's supposed to give them like a rush of adrenaline or whatever. But they have those characters in all this. The whole Nicholas Hoult thing got brought. All that to say, they have those characters in Fury Road as well. Or I'm sorry, Furiosa. So you can see the building up of Immortan Joe, who's the kind of the head honcho in Fury Road, and of course Furiosa. And this isn't a spoiler because you learn it pretty quick in Fury Road. But Furiosa, she lost her arm about maybe a little even above the elbow. So I'm sure in Furiosa we'll find out how that happened.
Yeah, I was like, that's not a spoiler, I guess, because I saw the trailer and that was in the trailer that she showed her arm, her robot arm
in Furiosa.
In Furiosa, the trailer, yeah,
I missed that part.
Yep,
sorry to let everybody down.
It's quite all right, but yeah, so it comes out. Just looked up May 24th, 2024. So before then, I will watch Fury Road.
Perfect.
And Furiosa.
Can we talk about bittersweet
Let's do it.
endings?
Okay.
One of the greatest shows of the last 10 years is about to have its final season, Mike.
Okay.
December 26th, 2023, the last season of Letterkenny will become available on Hulu.
Wait, 10 seasons?
10, maybe 11.
How did that last that long?
I don't know.
Are they still? I don't know. Here's the thing. I joke. I know people really like it. You know, people that are listen to this podcast might like it. You know,
I know you couldn't get into it.
I couldn't get into it, but that's no big deal.
But did you know about the spinoff series? Shoresy.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
I would really appreciate if you gave that a shot.
Okay, we'll do.
Because it is different. Really, the only thing that it has in common with Letterkenny is the character Shoresy.
Okay.
Who is played by the same actor who plays Wayne, which is pretty evident. And then there's some of that like really oddball, eclectic music selection. Okay. But other than that, I mean, it's legit about a football club, football team that's trying to survive.
Okay.
The first seasons, I think I just finished rewatching the first season, maybe 6 episodes.
Oh, that's not bad.
No. And then the second season, I didn't even realize second season was out, but, and so I haven't checked. Maybe I'm only on the first episode of the second season, which have been out apparently since October. But I think maybe 6 to 8. I mean, so you're looking at very manageable amount of television to get caught up. And I think this one would be more up your alley. It's got some heart. It's not quite Ted Lasso. It's not as I want to say like how did I describe Ted Lasso a couple weeks back? Like sweet.
Yeah.
So it's not as sweet, but it's definitely a lot of fun.
Okay.
And there's some real, pull at the heartstrings moments throughout that first season. So,
Okay.
yeah. I challenge you to give it a shot, and you seem open to it. So
yeah, challenge accepted, and I'll go in with an open mind. So
cool. Mike, anything else for this episode?
I don't think so.
Is that because it's already almost 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, though, the boys, I was so afraid the twins were going to fall asleep in the van on the way home from the zoo tonight. They stayed awake, got them home. Like, look, they're not quite 3, so yeah, we changed diapers. We did the bedtime routine. It was after 9:30, or I'd say probably about 9:30 when I left their room, so they probably fell asleep very quick. If those boys don't sleep till at least 7 in the morning, Pop's going to be pissed.
Right.
Like, we did everything we could to give them a running start to a nice, easy day, but we're going to need a little help from them.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't have anything else. I might actually go. I did. I'll tell you what. I did start reading. Do you like how I start talking away from the camera or away from the microphone?
All right.
I did start reading this book. I'm going to show it to you finally.
Okay.
I know some of the people on Facebook said that I should have, or Facebook, maybe even TikTok, said I should have started reading it months ago. But I did finally start reading Radiant Black.
Oh, yes. So far, so good. So far, so good.
I'm only about a chapter and a half into it, but I think I'm going to take it, put on some music rather than the television and take it to the other room and read a little bit of that and likely fall asleep in my chair, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's Friday night. Who cares?
Yeah.
Friday's one night you can fall asleep in your chair.
Exactly.
Yeah. We used to do that all the time back in the day, watching Jerry Springer on late night when you're like 15.
Yeah.
When Jerry Springer was wild.
Yes.
Kids today, they don't know about the Jerry Springer that we know about.
No.
So too many blurred out images. Anyway. All right. Mike, thank you for hanging out, staying up late. I hope you have a terrific Saturday and Sunday, and look forward to visiting with you again next week when we'll, again, folks, do our top 5 non-MCU Marvel movie moments. It's a mouthful. Yes. It's going to be a great show, and I'm really looking forward to getting into it.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, that is it for this episode of Nerds United. We thank everybody for watching on YouTube, for listening on your favorite podcast app, at home, at work, or in the car, wherever you take us. If you're on YouTube, if you can subscribe or hit a thumbs up or something like that, or if you can leave a review on your favorite podcast app, that helps us out quite a bit. It's a nice free way to give back, and tell your friends. That's also free. Information is free, and we appreciate all of you. If you can help our numbers out, that's great. And otherwise, we're not going anywhere. We've been doing this too long to throw in the towel now. Yep. And we'll look forward to getting together, hopefully maybe in person in sometime this month before the holidays, and cool. have a fun one. So for the co-host of the year, Mike Luther, I'm Greg Mahochko. This is Nerds United, and we remind each and every week to be kind
and rewind.
This is a production of the Jittery Monkey Podcast Network. For more jittery shenanigans, go to jitterymonkey.com.